So we're almost done with writing our lab report. The last piece we need to do before we go back and check everything is the conclusion, which will come after our data. So I'm going to double enter after the table for data and make sure I write the word conclusion in all capital letters and that it is bolded and has a line underneath it. When I get ready to write my conclusion, it has three parts. The first part is to restate my hypothesis. The second part is to tell whether or not my hypothesis is true or false, or I couldn't decide if it was true or false based on my data. And part three is to use that data to explain how I know it's true or false. So I'm going to write my conclusion with starting my hypothesis is or was. And for here, since I'm typing it, I can go back to my hypothesis and literally highlight and copy and scroll back to my conclusion and paste. Now I'm going to need to add the word that beforehand. Is that less water transpires in cool locations than in warm locations. That's what I thought. Transpire. So now I need to look at my data to see if that's true. Did less happen in the cool than the warm? Our first column here is warm. Our second column here is cool. So which one in the total water had less? 10.9 or 2.8? 2.8 is obviously less than 10.9, so I'm able to say that my hypothesis was true. So my hypothesis is true. I know this because the total water transpired in the cool location was 2.8, not pizzas, not pineapples, not pickles, but grams, while the warm location was 10.9 grams. I know that 2.8 is less than 10.9. Therefore, my hypothesis is true. And it could be as simple as that. If I really wanted to, I can explain why the warmer location transpired more, and that's because there's more heat, so evaporation can happen quicker than in the cool location. But I don't have to do that. These are the three pieces that I have to have in order to get the 4 on the rubric for the lab report. Okay? The next piece we're going to talk about in our next video is finishing it all up and making sure everything is 100% the way it should be for our lab reports.